someone who beat Big Boss and Goblin over in doubles that ended up getting second to Big Boss and Goblin's third.
That's right. It is not Lolyoshi's first rodeo. They've had a few tangos before this, and now they are finally scoring off in singles bracket. And now Big Boss is definitely one of the top seeds, so it is going to be such a struggle to figure out this masterful Rob that we're already seeing out in play full force.
Yeah, that was a beautiful scrap situation. Big Boss is one of the best at not doing full double tosses, but finding improvisational gyro extensions. We're seeing that here early, but it's so hard to know what to do against a character as rare as Mii Brawler, especially when they use a non-traditional special like that Phantom.
Ooh.
Most Brawlers use the missile, and that time, Big Boss just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, we saw that toolkit the entire day during doubles. Lolyoshi plays that zoner game, is really good with scrapping with Nair and finding conversions from back air. But then, in these interactions, he knows how to find that side and take it off the top. But all right, Big Boss evening things up now.
Sir, and that's why he's that. That is why he is the Big Boss. There is no escaping the master, it is very difficult to get a lead going and finally starting to hit these timer bombs back. It's a great ledge trapping tool and setup tool for Gunner, but if you have to catch them in a disadvantaged situation, otherwise it's just gonna come back to hurt you.
Yeah, and getting him one way down to this corner situation going on, especially with the gyro. Let's see if he can keep it up still. Trying to keep the pressure in the corner, but Lolyoshi always so good at knowing how to find those Nair reversals to get himself this nice positioning.
He uses neutral air so much more than almost every other brawler I see, or gunner I see, sorry. Even Capitan Cito, who loves that move. We've seen only a couple of fairs. He uses it mostly out of disadvantage as a movement mix-up, trying to do so there to find some catch on the pressure. Not going to find the drag down with up air. Those aren't particularly true anyways. Tried to catch on the matchup knowledge, and even though he didn't, was still able to clean it up with a beautiful platform landing trap.
Yeah, now Big Boss is just trying to go off to the race, especially off that down tilt. But yeah, not catching neutral get up with the rotor arm, I understand. Now, Big Boss really knows how to secure these kills, but he's mainly finding a lot of his percentages in this kind of mid-range against Mii Gunner. He doesn't really want to give Lolyoshi that space that he saw in doubles and even saw from that first stop.
But the counterplay to that, as we just saw, is to use these smoke grenades on shield because it hit confirms into a grab or other pressure afterwards. Lolyoshi has been so good at finding those earlier in doubles, in singles before this set, and even here still. Big Boss is forced to play around gyro, play outside of that CQC range, and try and find a hit confirm to bait a swing, find his way in, closing out the stock, doing just that.
And now, I wouldn't imagine this going very in favor of Lolyoshi, but as soon as I say that, the double gyro toss to the rotor arm going so clean.
And I don't know if you saw that up special. Well, that's non-traditional as well. Most of them use the one that doesn't have a hitbox but has a lot of control, goes slightly further. That one, not nearly as strong, but has a hitbox that actually can spike. It's a projectile. It can be very strong against characters like Rob who want to chase you, want to juggle you when you're forced to go high.
Yeah, and Lolyoshi's still just trying to keep up the center control, especially cycling between the smoke grenades. All the tools in the kit just trying to find their way back to the ground as Big Boss looking to sink into his prime win conditions with Rob. We might see it off a down tilt, a grab, or maybe even a juggle situation, but Lolyoshi's just still doing such a great job at boxing out Big Boss, but oh no!
The gyro hurt Lolyoshi, allowing him to get pressured into that situation, Snivy. Because he tried to come in with a neutral air, but just clipped it. But then it actually saved him because while it hit confirmed him, meaning that Big Boss theoretically had a checkmate situation, and because Lolyoshi hit that left side and was DIing out, he got hit just far enough away that it was no longer a true confirm and was able to reverse. That was such a gorgeous heads-up play from him after the mistake. And it was good heads-up play from Big Boss to set it up in the first place.
Yeah,
Beautiful stuff from both players, but only one of them could come up 1-0, and hey, it's the hometown hero.
The saying goes, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And you're keeping gyro closer to you. Now, going into this next set, Big Boss is really going to have to watch out with how he kind of goes into these kills. We're seeing him kind of tunnel vision a little bit, thinking he's going to get a kill or scoop off of up smash, but then he completely whiffs it, allowing Yoshi to tack on his own punish.
And now we're seeing Big Boss with the counterpick to Final Destination, wanting large space, which you might think would benefit a character like Brawler or Gunner, who's a zoner, but not necessarily with this moveset, right? This moveset is very geared around using those timer bombs, those smoke grenades, force you into shield, control platforms, trap your landings, and then use those phantom blasts on the side special like that to catch things off and find ways out of disadvantage. Here, you just have a lot of wide open space where Rob can kind of outzone you and much better control the pace of the game.
Yeah, Big Boss onto a very good lead right now, looking to take down this Mii Gunner, not getting the snipe, but still keeping him in check with the double forward air, and that's going to do in this corner. Now, Ritual. The name of the game going into this stage, right, is stage control. It is key positioning, keeping Big Boss at arm's length with all of Mii Gunner's toolset. But
it's very hard without any platforms. Mii Gunner here at Snivy has to kind of find many more creative ways to counter your projectiles. Timer Bomb deals with Gyro initially, but unless you're immediately finding a catch on it afterward, it just goes right back, right, and they can do it again. Big Boss utilizing that early. That was an opportunity for lolyoshi, but he can't find the conversion. Gunner doesn't have that speed. There's nowhere left for him to go, and he's just really struggled to find a way in at all.
Yeah, and I can imagine, being so down against Big Boss, especially against Rob, it is disastrous. It is absolutely so disastrous. It just snowballs. Like, we're seeing this 3-stock lead kind of just play out, and Big Boss is just picking up more momentum.
And I am, wow, fighting the snipe with no DI to boot. Big Boss just not ready for that one at all. And lolyoshi has caught people slipping against those Phantom Blasts all day long. One thing we haven't seen at these mid-ranges as a call-out from some of these defensive setups for Big Boss has been lolyoshi throwing out an F-smash, right? The range on that move is absolutely insane. But we haven't seen it here at all this set, or really from lolyoshi this tournament. And it's a really interesting thing to keep an eye on that he might be saving for when it matters most.
Yeah, and now lolyoshi really has to do a good job of just keeping things controlling the ledge, but unfortunately, Big Boss gets it into that interaction, and now still, you just gotta keep on the pressure, keep it juggling, but still, lolyoshi doing really good, just kind of running on up and getting Big Boss in these juggle situations.
I like that he started to jump in and find some empty hop grabs. Big Boss is committed to this zoning playstyle, and the downside of that is your end lag, right? There's a rhythm to that play, and the counterplay to it is cover your own approach, and then come in with a grab, throw Rob, take the damage, reset the situation if you have to.
Yeah, lolyoshi really looking for a Hail Mary right now. A really nice conversion to even up the stock, but the Rob up smash is going to take you out.
Yeah, he tried to get tricky, cross up shield, and then utilize neutral air to cross shield back up again. The downside is, if your opponent's expecting it, it's not safe, and, well, Big Boss just finding the up smash to close it out, showing us a dominant game number 2 on his counter pick. And again, I know I've mentioned it a couple times before, but I really do think the lack of platforms hurt lolyoshi, and as counterintuitive as it is, wouldn't be surprised if we see a smaller stage coming out here, but instead we're gonna see Kalos.
You know, I'm like very surprised we even went to FD, because do we really like want to not operate on any platforms for trapping? You know, I'm just like staring down this big giant robot who just loves to just gyro toss and loop me and combo me to death. It's great. Yeah, he loves giving hugs too.
Snivy, I will say though, like you mentioned, and I agree with you, flat stages. So why do you think lolyoshi likes Kalos so much more?
Well, it's a lot bigger stage, so we can play more true to the zoner game that we've been seeing lolyoshi kind of just go for, like trying to find like stray hits off of the smoke grenade to just get the conversion.
The on-stage space though, not actually bigger. So it does, the platforms help, right? He does have more room overall, bigger blast zones as you mentioned. But the on-stage statement is still the same and still has that big wide open center where he can't really trap Rob's landings. I wonder if it has to do with the walls and more than the platforms, where you can kind of force Rob to have a predictable recovery route, and because of the timer bombs and smoke grenades angle, you can very consistently cover both platform and the ground as you've done it.
Yeah, but Big Boss still just keeping lolyoshi in the corner here and not able to get the conversion into the rotor arms. That is super unfortunate, but okay. Able to get a reversal out of the corner. I imagine he wanted to use those side platforms to just like get some linearity to this Rob, but it is not being phased. Okay,
that catch was absolutely insane, Snivy, how far that up smash reaches, and you can tell how well lolyoshi knows this character and knows the matchup as well, not getting DI mixed. Now though, no air dodge, no jump, having to go early, and Big Boss is throwing out literally his most active option. What do you do there?
Nothing. You just cry. You cope about it, and then you move on. As lolyoshi
I'm sorry, that wasn't confirmed. That was 2 hits and did 37, Snivy, with no rage.
That was clean. That was clean. That's what we've been seeing lolyoshi kind of just throw down. off of all these stray bombs and hits, he's been just trying to find really good conversions.
And now he's using Timer Bomb on shield to cover the neutral layers. Just converted that into another 60%. Snivy, lolyoshi is playing out of his mind this stock, covering every single Big Boss approach option, willing to retreat onto these platforms and try and call out these neutral layers, but Big Boss is willing to wait. And I'm sorry, did you know that Me Gunner had a wall jump? Because I just learned that right now.
Well, you know what? Now we can see the Kalos pick into fruition, because this gives you a little mix-up to your recoveries in the way you kind of just go back to stage. And we're seeing lolyoshi just keeping Big Boss at bay as he's just forced to go high, and oh, he gets the sock off of it. Oh no, still, Rob hanging on.
Big Blast Zone, plus right, it being a multi-hit if you're falling does drag you down a little bit, so Big Boss being a big boy with Rob too, none of that helps, but the back air is certainly going to blow you up. It might not be the El Diablo itself, but hey, it's the next best thing.
Yeah, Big Boss is really trying to find this next starter here, just trying to cycle between the zoning of gyro and laser, and just checking in the nair when he kind of sees fit. But lolyoshi is really just kind of finessing around the situation to just really find an opening to like get a starter that Big Boss is not allowing. But here, hold on, here's something coming.
Yeah, the up tilt neutral air, just finding shield pressure, trapping Big Boss there in the corner, and finding, forcing him to get across. Right, so, we're seeing Gunner's moves do so much shield damage that he's forcing Big Boss to jump at him just to get out of the corner, and then catching that with some fantastic anti-air tools.
Yeah, now Big Boss back to the zoning game once again with the gyro. I mean, understandably so. You're down this much against Me Gunner as lolyoshi is looking to get you in that prime win condition and even catch your landings.
Wow.
But Big Boss still hanging on from the Rob Wait and the Kalos Blast Zone.
Yes, sir. That was really impressive, honestly. Both finding that opening and surviving it. The Phantom Blast not going to find its mark. Timer Bomb there at lead, but Big Boss going to be able to push lolyoshi away just enough to go high, covering both though and forcing the attempt at a low neutral air. Not going to do it just yet, Snivy, but this match winding to a close, it feels like.
Yeah, the neutral air, Big Boss really just trying to get the stock off, and still
alive?
lolyoshi just hanging on. This Kalos is just doing wonders for both of them, actually. It's really funny.
Yeah, and now Gunner with a gyro, that would have been terrifying, but Big Boss has got you out of here. Not going to be able to get you out of the stage, though. Maybe now? No,
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. And the forward air still not taking it.
I think he's dead here. Yeah.
Yeah, rotor up. Got you.
And also that up special doesn't, again, right, that's why you see most Gunners use the other one. You can angle it, find a lot more space.
Huh?
And I think that was down smash? It was either down smash or timer bomb.
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. What just happened? What he just exploded. He vamos.
Oh, it was up. It was up tilt.
Oh, it was up tilt.
It was up tilt. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the flame in front of you going on up. And one of the things that lolyoshi did that game that was super smart that he didn't do, he did but didn't find the same success with on FD, was he would full hop in and toss a timer bomb. Then if the laser came out, it would hit timer bomb back into him and pop him up and away. But because of the upwards angle of his approach and how timer bomb sends on the bounce back, he was put too far away and just got to reset the situation rather than potentially getting juggled by Rob for getting caught by those lasers.
And I this song choice got me a little scared. This is very ominous going to this game 4. Is this just like the come up of lolyoshi, or is just Big Boss kind of like turning on the Dark Souls music, looking to turn up?
I was gonna say I don't actually know what game this is from, but my guess would be Castlevania. That being said, it really feels like this just might as well be a Mii team, because that's what it feels like against the Mii's, but the single toss, not going to find the double, just going to take a gyro or a rotor arm for some damage, Snivy, and find just anything as a get off me tool. Oh, lolyoshi's been so good at using his specials just to get Big Boss off of him, right? Just to kind of use those explosions to reset and create some distance, which you normally would see a player like Capinancito do with neutral air.
Yeah, and the Phantom Bomb still like looking to snipe at Big Boss, but Big Boss really just has to find his way inside of lolyoshi's area, because this close quarters as mid-range, that's where you're going to get all the damage. And I did like the whiff nair there, kind of spaced him out, but he didn't get like anything off of it, unfortunately.
The gyro going to keep you in the ledge. I like firing through the edge of stage though, Snivy, just to create some disruption. The advantage stage is going to continue, and that up air is going to do it. lolyoshi once again taking the first stock over Big Boss. How can he answer back?
Yeah, Big Boss still just has to like tap into the aggressive play because lolYoshi's operating me gunner as like a zoner. And like even though you have like the tools to be like, hey, get off me with the nair, get off me with all these options, you just really have to get in there and shut down the zoner gameplay.
And now opting too, right? We didn't even talk about this small battlefield, a bi-plat, smaller stage space, platform close to ledge, everything me gunner likes, but Big Boss feeling like, hey, I can't go back to FD, even though there is, you know, there's no DSR, but I imagine after that last one, lolYoshi probably banned it, not wanting to just hand him a free game. The double toss, though, barely not going to find it, somehow going to cover. I think he's too low to get back, though. No, wow.
Someone tell me, how heavy is this character? I've seen lolYoshi live to impossible percentages throughout doubles and now throughout singles. Does he just have like the greatest disadvantage I've ever seen?
I don't think it's the greatest. It's certainly very good, though, right? He's burning his air dodges early, saving his jumps, finding very unique disadvantaged routes. However, Big Boss has managed to answer back with a very, very efficient stock, and lolYoshi's still trying to chip this one away. Big Boss has done a much better job utilizing these platforms to limit and lane lolYoshi's approaches and zone of control with these projectiles. Etching him out on it there by that over-reliance on platform. But Big Boss is trying to get lolYoshi to approach towards the center stage and then fall on top of him.
Yeah, the crowd definitely wants their hero to close this out. You can already hear the crowd just cheering for lolYoshi to get this comeback, and he's still doing a really good job trying to just keep Big Boss out of these interactions, out of that close range, but he is gaining speed. These gyros are helping him out immensely, and this forward air is looking so disastrous.
The bomb catching the forward air because it bounced off. It bounced on Big Boss. It hit the fair, but then still bounced up, and because fair is so active, it still hit him. He hurtbox shifted his head into it. Now
and he got a grab?
Yeah, you can combo smoke bomb because it's a multi-hit into grab at certain ranges. That was crazy from Big Boss, but not going to find the drag down up air. lolYoshi's seen that one before after Zamba pulled it out all last week at Battle of Z.
And now lolYoshi just the pressure is tacking onto Big Boss. He can really feel the scramble. Let's see if he has the DI lock.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he does. lolYoshi is one game away, one interaction away from getting it. And Big Boss with the overzealous rotor arm. Oh no!
The air dodge. He went for it, Snivy. That up special that he went for first spikes, and it's a huge hitbox. So he's trying to line that up, and but then buffered the air dodge to try and get back. Unfortunately, was already on it and was holding down, so just dropped right back off, and that was the end of game number 4. He was very close and is very capable of doing this at 16 years old, right? He has his whole career ahead of him.
It's literally just right in front of him. This is the footstep potentially.
Absolutely, but similar to a lot of other young players, Snivy, that means he hasn't been doing this that long. And a player like Big Boss, who has been, right, and has been friends, you know, training partners, traveling companions with some of the best players in the world for a very long time, has been in this situation, seen his friends in this situation hundreds, if not thousands of times. So in a Game 5 last hit situation potentially here in top 24, it's going to be lolYoshi's counter pick, but the question is going to be, does he have the mental composure to close it out?
Yeah, and it's definitely questionable with that head shaking like at the end of that Game 4. But lolYoshi seemingly just having no time whatsoever to kind of like concentrate on that, just immediately off with that 37%. And now I'm a bit of a fan of the, you know, the new kids on the block. The new kids taking it up against the old heads. If anything, this is going to be a game to just drive your rage into. Drive everything you need to be the people's champion.
Drive your rage. This isn't Street Fighter.
Go back to the streets. Go back to the streets for that one.
Okay. Ritual in the streets, not so much, but Ritual here in the Smashy Bros. Gonna do so. Unfortunately, getting sent to the street is lolYoshi, who got booted all the way out back to the road on into this town and city. Big Boss asserting himself right now, saying enough is enough, playtime's over, young buck, but we're not ready for the change into the guard just yet.
Yeah, Big Boss just switching up here, and those small town blast city zones, they really have to come into question now because Big Boss is going to be looking for those. He's going to be looking for those rotor arm conversions into the corner and to just get really early kills, either fair or back.
I like the get-up attack there to try and cover that early, that drop back, go back immediately to ledge from Big Boss, trying to prevent the edge guard having to burn these air dodges early, finding the up special, but was trying to line it up for a spike to boot and just wasn't able to close that out. lolyoshi has a ways to go, Snivy, to get himself back into this one. Down over a full stop.
Oh my god!
He needs to find this one fast if he has hope.
That was that air dash that I was looking for the entire time. lolyoshi pulling it out to move through the shield, but still not quite able to take out Big Boss's stock. He's been doing a pretty good job conditioning the way he just wants, and he almost had to kill off that roll, but was just a little hesitant to pull that trigger. But there we go, a trigger is pulled on that back air.
And we see Mii Gunner's
Ayo.
relatively small item grab pickup range. You're gonna find the reversal, but at 0, not gonna find too much more, Snivy. He was so low, he just had to go back to ledge, and now having to play out of the corner. Big Boss has been so efficient on Town and City throughout this set. Those short side blast zones are one of Rob's favorite tools, and this is lolyoshi's opportunity. He's closing up some ground, but he's gonna have to do it with his back against the wall, somehow surviving though.
Yeah, lolyoshi just hanging on forever, but not for too long. Those rotor arms have just scooped him every single time he tries to come back to stage. And oh no, do not get robbed, my friend.
That's it.
Robbing opponents blindly since the dawn of Smash. Big Boss closing it out.
Beat boop, baby. That double toss was insane, Snivy. The Big Boss just, had saved